Hello, 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 and welcome to the Lit to Lens podcast, a place for folks who like the book better than the movie. We have a little bit of a different structure today. We're doing a pre-season episode that's going to introduce everybody into what we're doing. And I'm sitting here with my co-host, Mr. E. Hello.
Hello, Will.
How's it going?
Good. You braved the snows to get here.
I had to walk in the street, actually, in your street outside your house, because the sidewalks are not shoveled.
Yeah, well, I mean, why do you have an HOA? So people don't shovel their own sidewalks.
Unbelievable. I almost slipped and fell. Cracked my head open.
I've been thinking about writing a letter to the HOA, honestly.
You haven't written one yet?
It's just like,
I'll
how
write
hard is
one
it to
for
get a
you.
shovel, right?
Yeah.
How
What's
hard
funny,
is it to get a shovel?
It's not that hard, especially like that little block. But
Yeah.
your street has like parts. There's like a section of where it's shoveled, and then a section of like ice, and then a section shoveled, section ice.
Yes. Yeah. Some people put salt down. Some people didn't. And then there's, I think I know what you're talking about. There's like this weird Nomad Land where there's no house in front of it.
Mm-hmm.
So no one felt the need to shovel it.
All I'm saying is I almost got hit by a car because I was walking the street
Yeah.
in order to get here. So
Glad you made it safely.
me too.
Where's my $90 a month go to if not shoveling when there's 5 inches of snow?
What the fuck?
I want a refund.
Anyways, Eric, what are we doing today?
We are introducing our season. This is going to be season 8, and we're going to hold off on telling you what it is, although it's probably in the show title. So
It probably will be.
good job for us. But I think we're trying to get into the habit of introducing seasons into the podcast feed because it is a very direct line of communication with our listeners. So we just thought this would be easier in addition to looking at our Instagram and Twitter pages. But so in this episode, we're going to talk about the topic, and we're going to talk about what we're tackling this season.
Yes. So with that said, we have 5 pieces of literature that we're going to be reading and reviewing, and 3 of them are plays, actually.
3 of them are plays.
And 2 of them are novels.
Yep.
So we thought, since the Oscars were pushed back a couple months into April, that we're going to try and shoot for the most likely, I would say, or at least the ones that have a good shot at being nominated for Best Adapted Screenplay.
Yes. So we are doing awards bait, or Oscar bait specifically,
Yeah.
here on season 8 of the Lit to Lens podcast. And we're doing it because I think in some ways, like, the adapted screenplay Oscar nominee is the highest form of a Lit to Lens joint, just generally, right?
Yes.
In a
would
given
say
year,
so.
we've decided that these are the best 5 adaptations.
Yep.
So that's something for us to like vibe with and read and do.
Yeah, I'm actually I feel like may have talked about doing this before, but we've never actually done it. And for whatever reason this year, it just kind of fell into our lap that we should probably do this.
Yeah, well, it worked out that the Oscars moved to April, so it gives us literally the start of the calendar year to get our shit together.
Yeah.
Read. I like you said, 3 of them this year are plays.
Yep.
And 2 of them are going to be novels. So, but it is interesting to see, because I think like as a season, it is sort of looser than our previous seasons. Because what do these 5 things have in common? Nothing really, other than their movie came out in 2020.
And they were critically reviewed.
Right.
Well received.
Right. But they're not, there's no through line that's like, these are all sci-fi or these are all Philip K. Dick or, you know, however you want to slice it and dice it.
True.
But I do think it could be interesting to see, like, these are the best of a given year. And it at least shows you like what the creators or the producers value in a piece of literature.
Yeah. And I think it's interesting that 3 of them are plays. I feel like not too many plays get adapted into feature films, and then feature films that are actually well received. I mean, I guess you have Fences from a couple years ago, and there's probably some others that I'm not remembering, but 3 in 1 year seems like an outlier.
That's a good point. I wonder how much, I guess we don't really know the impacts of COVID on film production, but it feels like, and this is just me making stuff up, but like if you were going to make a movie during COVID, turning a play into a movie would be pretty easy.
Yeah.
Because you don't need that many sets. You really just need a couple of actors.
Mm-hmm.
You can limit exposure, right?
Yeah.
And something like one of our later plays is, I don't think there's that many characters.
No. I think there's maybe a handful.
But I don't know if it was made during COVID. But just a thought, like, I think that would be easier.
I think you're right. I think it would be just a little bit easier, a little bit tighter, instead of making like a Divergent, you know what I mean, or a Twilight, something with like 100 or 200 different characters and like massive sets and stuff.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise screaming at you like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah. But also there's just a lot of stuff that needs to be adapted, but because I think you're right, like plays traditionally aren't often adapted into movies because they are already so close. But maybe it's just like there's this great untapped source of material.
Yeah.
That is the play.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I don't know. I can't even remember the last play. Actually, I do remember the last play I went to was, it became Una, with Rooney Mara, but I can't remember the name of the
Jeff Daniels and Rooney Mara.
No,
Jeff Daniels and she was in Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah, the blonde.
I keep wanting to call her Carey Mulligan.
It's not Carey Mulligan. Anyways, that was the last one I saw with you, and then that was adapted into a movie with Rooney Mara and the British guy, but I can't remember his name either. But anyways, that was horribly received. I think
Michelle Williams. Wait, did that movie come out?
Una? Yeah, it's on. I think it's on like Hulu or something.
Wow.
So if anybody wants to watch it, it's available.
Yeah.
That was a pretty heavy
Bluebird?
play. That sounds right.
Something like that.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
But anyways,
I didn't save that playbill. That playbill got tossed.
Yeah. So it's a little sidetrack there. So Erik, so why are we doing Oscars? Like what about the Oscars is sort of like important to you, important for us to discuss here?
Well, I love the awards shows. I'm kind of a weird person like that, where I like to, not necessarily like the pre-show stuff, or, I mean, some of us like that, whatever. But I like the idea that everyone got together in a room and is deciding to give silly gold statues to people.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny if you think about like the history of the Oscars, that they're sort of like anti-union in a way. Whatever. There's this whole like dark history to the Oscars and what they actually, what their purpose actually is. But I just like dudes in tuxes, women in gowns, having fun.
Yeah, I feel
they're with their friends. I don't know.
It stems, I think, from like it's very British. Like this is what British people love to do. They love to like dress up and like act all hoity-toity, and like this is like our version of that, I think. And I like it too. I mean, I've watched them. I've watched every single one for the past who knows how many years, and they're always fun. And it's essentially meaningless. Like it's a piece of art. One is not necessarily better than the other, but I think it holds a certain significance. Like this was the best in this moment, kind of thing.
Right. And historically they serve an important purpose, where you can look back on 2012 and think like, wait, that's what we gave the Oscar to?
Yeah.
When, now looking back, you're like, no one watches that movie anymore. That movie is out of the public consciousness, but at a certain point in time, it was very important for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And they're also like a really good marketing tool to say like, here are the movies that we think you should be watching in 2020.
Yeah.
Go watch them. Go find them.
Do you remember like when you would go to like Blockbuster or like DVD stores, like maybe Best Buy or something, and the ones with the Academy Award stamp on them, like 5-time Academy Award nominated for Best Picture, like would stand out, and you'd be like, oh, this must be pretty fucking good. Like, goddamn. Those would always stick out to me, and I'd be like, I'm getting this movie. Yeah.
It's amazing to see, like, I don't know if you've been on the internet in recent days, post the Golden Globe nominations.
No.
We should say we're recording this on February 4th. Maybe you already said that. If you didn't, then I'm saying it now. But
February 4th.
Golden Globes nominations came out recently, and I feel like I've already been served with a bunch of ads that are like, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Oh, yeah.
3-time Golden Globe nominated.
They're targeting you.
Yeah,
immediately.
They want you to
watch it. You've already seen it, though.
I have already seen it. Maybe that's why I'm getting targeted for it.
We'll see it again.
Yeah. You have Netflix, Erik.
Keep watching it.
Stream it again.
So, yeah, we thought, this would be a perfect time, since we kind of haven't done this before. This is kind of like the quintessential award for, like you said before, Lit to Lens. I mean, there's plenty of bad adaptations out there. You can go in our catalog and find some of them. But there's plenty of really great ones. And, 5 of the best from the past year, I think, certainly is helpful for us. It makes it easier. First of all, some of them are plays. They're shorter. They're easier to read. There's not as much like internal dialogue, I guess.
Yep.
It's all just dialogue. And then you have ones that are probably going to be good, because they're not going to make necessarily, hopefully, a bad book into a good movie. Usually good material, good movie. So
I agree with that. Yeah. And like you said, there are bad adaptations, but there are no bad episodes about those adaptations.
I thought you were going to say there were no bad episodes of Entourage, but
why would you think I was going to say that?
Because I walked in today, everybody. Just want everyone to know. I walked in and Erik was watching season 3 episode 7 or something of
Yeah.
Entourage?
Yes.
How many times have you seen Entourage?
Probably not as many as you think. Well,
doubt it.
it's not polite to ask. I go through it over and over again, and then I stop at like season 5, and then I just decide to restart.
Yeah.
It's kind of like painting the Golden Gate Bridge, where like by the time you're finished painting it, you have to repaint it because it's taking you so long.
Yeah.
That's sort of how Entourage is. Once you finish watching to the end of season 5, you then have to restart it.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, I mean, for most of us, I think.
Side note,
So there you go. That's a little dip into my brain.
your personal life.
Yeah. It's not great, but we are who we are.
That's true. That is true. So, smooth transition here into our first book/movie adaptation of the season. Erik, what are we doing?
Yes, I gave this away a little bit, but we are doing Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And I'll go ahead and read the IMDb synopsis for this. But during a recording session, tensions rise between Ma Rainey, her ambitious horn player, and the white management determined to control the uncontrollable mother of the blues. This is on Netflix. You can find the play online if you're interested. August Wilson play, I believe.
Yep.
He wrote Fences. He's probably one of the quintessential playwrights of the last 40 years.
Yes. I thought he was way older. I thought his plays came out in the 60s or maybe even the 50s or something.
Yeah, but he's 80s and 70s, 80s, and 90s.
So relatively recent. Or more recent than I thought.
Yeah. A lot of his plays are set in the past, though, which maybe is why you
that's probably true.
think of him in the Tennessee Williams era.
Yeah.
But I would say him and Tony Kushner probably, as far as mainstream playwrights of recent era.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Aaron Sorkin. I don't know.
Is he writing plays?
Well, sometimes.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. He wrote To Kill a Mockingbird, or he adapted that for
That's right.
Broadway. He's got a couple other plays.
His plays I feel like would be great. The dialogue back and forth.
They'd be so long.
They would be 3 hours.
Yeah.
So, excuse me, why are we doing Ma Rainey's Black Bottom?
Well, for me, it starts with Chadwick Boseman, I think probably.
Okay.
This is the end of the line, right? This is his last movie, and this movie, because of that, is going to take on it's going to be on one of the highest pedestals of his career, right? Everybody knows the last role of this famous actor or actress who died a little bit young.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's for us, it's sort of the Heath Ledger-ness of The Dark Knight, in a certain way. But I think I don't know that for me, it started with that. I was like, what is this? Oh, this is his last role.
Yeah. That's how I first heard about it. I didn't know anything about Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. I didn't even know who else was in it. And I just heard about, that was how it was advertised.
Yeah.
Whether that's good or not is, a completely different conversation. But that is certainly one of the reasons why I watch it. Now, I was not really on the Chadwick Boseman bandwagon, but I think when you look at especially recently, his body of work, it's
pretty great.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's up there with a lot of heavy hitters.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely one reason I would watch it too. But as well, you have the lead actress,
Viola Davis. Yeah. Love Viola Davis. We talked about her in Fences.
Mm-hmm.
She's always really, really great.
Do you think she will have a chance at Best Actress, or will she be?
I think so.
Okay.
I think she's one of the favorites.
But do you think she'll win it because she already has her statue?
Oh, I don't know.
This was the whole controversy last time with Fences because she was tagged as a supporting actress, so she would win essentially. Yeah. But now she's got
I mean they're different, right? Lead actress is more important than a supporting actress when you're talking about Oscars.
True.
A lot of people win their Oscars initially in the supporting role and then try to bump up.
That's true.
Elevate. Yeah. Winning it, I don't know. It's the Oscars, man.
Wait for that conversation for.
Yeah. I don't know who else is up there. I'm sure we'll talk about one later in the episode, but I don't know.
Yeah. It'll be an interesting conversation once it gets closer to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are two of the big things for me. I personally didn't really love Fences, either reading it or watching it. I wasn't super interested in it and didn't really hit with me. But this one I think is a little different. It's a little bit more upbeat.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of music in it. So
I'm interested in the intersection between these white moneyed men who control the money, and then like the black artists that they sort of take advantage of to get like record sales.
Yeah. I mean, this is like that's a common trope in the music industry, that especially white men like, and I'm sure it's substantiated, and I'm sure it still happens today. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So I'm sure this will have, it's certainly timely for a number of different reasons because of Chadwick Boseman and that specifically. But yeah, it should be good.
Yeah. All right. Number 2, Will, tell us about it.
Nomad Land. After losing everything in the Great Recession, a woman embarks on a journey through the American West, living as a van-dwelling modern-day nomad. So this is with
Frances McDormand.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on her name. And she is basically, from the trailer and from the synopsis, she's basically just wandering around through life. I think in the trailer she's working at an Amazon plant. There isn't a whole lot of information in her background, but she's a nomad.
She's a nomad.
So she's cruising through the West and meeting random and interesting people, and obviously the cinematography looks incredible from the different sceneries that they take advantage of, and I think there's certainly a lot of what do they call that when it's like the sun is going down, midnight hour?
Oh, golden hour.
Or golden hour, excuse me. It seems like there should be a lot of that as well in the movie, but I'm excited for this one. So
I like a good hobo story.
Is that right?
I love like people who hop on train cars and go somewhere else and don't sort of like parachute around. They don't have a place to rest.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to do it. And this is interesting because it's like, you think of hobo stories, you think of like the turn of the 20th century or even earlier, right? Like 1800s, 1900s. This happens post the Great Recession, which is like 12 years ago.
Yeah.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
So
modern day.
Yeah. So that's interesting to me. The director I'm really interested in, Chloe Zhao, she's directing a Marvel movie.
Is she?
Or is like in the process of filming it. This is why Kumail Nanjiani is like super ripped. That's his movie, The Eternals. So I'm interested. I've never seen a movie by her, but because she is hopping into the mainstream, then I need to go back and figure out what she did before.
Where she? Yeah. So I looked at some of her movies before, but none of them I'd never heard of either of them. So I think they were pretty small indies.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm excited for this one though.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's unique in the sense that there aren't many of these movies made or many of these stories told. I can't even think of like the last, maybe Wild with Reese Witherspoon is like a similar kind of story. But yeah, I think the uniqueness of the story, and obviously Frances McDormand is probably perfectly cast for this role.
Yeah. As we talk about Best Actress, like frontrunners,
there you
Frances
go.
McDormand.
Top 2.
Yeah.
So what's number 3?
Number 3, One Night in Miami. Cue the salsa,
God.
right?
Oh my God.
Anyway, a fictional account of one incredible night where icons Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, Sam Cooke, and Jim Brown gathered discussing their roles in the civil rights movement and cultural upheaval of the 1960s. This is streaming on Prime currently.
Currently, yep.
And we should have mentioned that Nomadland is coming out on Hulu on February 19th.
That's right.
One Night in Miami, another one that is a play turn film.
Yep.
And the playwright and the screenwriter here, Ken Powers, also co-wrote Soul on Disney Plus. So he's having a pretty big year.
Yeah.
For me, like, there's just a lot of talent involved in this movie. Like, I really like Leslie Odom, who plays Sam Cooke, who's of Hamilton fame. Our guy, Aldous Hodge, is in this. I don't know if he's I think he's Jim Brown. If you recall our earlier episode this year, The Invisible Man, Aldous Hodge is her love interest.
Yeah, her new love interest.
With giant triceps.
Yeah, he's a cop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's going to be in this. Kind of.
Who is he?
I think he's Jim Brown.
Oh, okay.
I think he's Jim Brown.
Okay.
So a lot of talent. Regina King, I like. I don't know that she's directed before, but sports, pop culture. She
kind of like came out of nowhere the past couple of years. I mean, she won her Oscar last year, and now she's directing a big time film.
She was in Watchmen.
She was in Watchmen.
HBO.
Yep.
Yeah. She's hosting SNL in 2 weeks.
Is she really?
So there you go, Regina King.
Good for Regina King.
So I'm in on this. How do you feel about this one?
This one I'm less excited for. I'm keeping my expectations low because I mean, I've heard it's good.
Just so you can't get hurt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I hadn't heard anything about it until I think we probably talked about it, and then I did a little more research. But it seems like when I read the synopsis or hear about it, it's like, okay, this is like one of those like, let's have this like crazy scenario where like we bring 4 different people from 4 different times and bring them all together and into a room. And
Well, so I think this meeting is real, but they don't know what happened.
oh, really?
So I think this is like a event that probably took place, and then they just fictionalized what they discussed.
Oh,
Because I think they're in town for a fight. Maybe it's a Muhammad Ali fight, and then they just like hang out afterwards. And talk about stuff.
Clearly I didn't do my research.
Well,
So now I'm a little bit more
you've
excited
never been
for
to
this one.
Miami. You've never been.
That's
to
true.
Miami.
I've never been to Miami. But yeah, I'm a little lukewarm, but I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
So.
What we should say is, what we need from you is to identify your like will pick of the year, because you always have these movies that you're like so invested in and obsessed with, and that turn out to be terrible.
No, not always.
Well, half the time.
Flip a coin, yeah.
Yeah.
This year I don't know if I have one, because this year
Prometheus is like the
2012
the prime example of that.
Listen,
right?
Prometheus was well received by critics. Okay?
Well, not by moviegoers.
That's true. But this year I don't know what I have. But are you excited for this one?
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's number 3 on our list, so I feel like these are kind of in. I think these are kind of in reverse order of how I would have ranked them anyway, or in order of how I would have ranked them.
Yeah, probably.
So as we go down, I'm less excited, but nonetheless, I'm still in on One Night in Miami.
Okay, good. You better be.
Yeah, I'll probably go to Miami after this and just spend one night there and
just don't get COVID.
See how it is. Yeah.
Number 4, we have News of the World. A Civil War veteran agrees to deliver a girl taken by the Kiowa people years ago to her aunt and uncle against her will. They travel hundreds of miles and face grave dangers as they search for a place that either can call home. So, this is Tom Hanks in the starring role. Is it Dakota or is it?
No, it's a new person.
It's a new
to me.
Yeah.
This I think she's a girl. She got nominated. I mean, like, I don't think she's old enough to be a woman.
Yeah. Okay. Just to clarify,
I think she got nominated for a Golden Globe
this year.
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
But I forget her name.
Yeah. We'll talk about it when we get there. But this one, I'm like kind of anti-Western because first of all, I don't really like them.
That's a good reason to be anti.
Let me explain. My dad and my grandfather were big Westerns, and they always tried to like push their Westerns on me, and I was just very resistant to that. That's probably part of it. But I just find them to be the same story over and over and over again. And they're not always super interesting to me. They're far removed. I could never envision this happening. I don't know. I'm just like so far away from loving Westerns that I really need something really good to, like, Unforgiven. Like, I like that one.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense, because that's sort of like an anti-Western Western. Like, if you think about a Western, you think about like the cowboys and Indians traditionally, right? And then somebody is questing to bring someone somewhere else for some reason.
Right.
I read this slugline and I was like, this sounds like The Revenant in a way, just probably a little bit less violent. But I was like, okay,
yeah,
he's running away from a group of people and he's trying to get this person there. I don't know, in a like a sense.
Yeah,
I was reminded of The Revenant.
Yeah.
I do like Westerns, however. If you look down there, Will, you can see my TV stand. I have a collection of the 50 greatest Westerns of all time. A little box set, back when people used to buy box sets of things.
I'm not going to be requesting to borrow that. But.
So there's probably a lot of Lit Lens in there, and we'll probably do it.
Oh, really? Okay, good.
So I agree with you. Like, I'm not like super. It doesn't look all that exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So my expectations are sort of middling, but I like a little Western in there.
Yeah, I mean, why not, right? I mean, it's Tom Hanks.
What's an Oscar season without a Western? It's like
a good one.
It's like Christmas with no presents.
Is that what it is? The only reason I'm mildly excited for this one would be for Tom Hanks. I feel like I haven't seen a good Tom Hanks film in a while. And I feel like he's doing a lot of these like American hero roles. Like he's did this one. He did Captain Phillips years ago, but he did Greyhound. Was that a submarine one, or that wasn't submarine? It was like a
above water boat.
yeah, like
a normal floating
aircraft
boat.
carrier. Normal floating boat. I feel like he does a lot of these like I don't know like American hero roles, and
Yeah.
I don't know why he's typecast in that because I feel like he is better than just that. But
Well, he's a big history guy.
is he?
He produced those like Band of Brothers, The Pacific,
That's true, he did do
those sort of miniseries on
Yeah.
HBO. So I think he is just a history fan.
That's just what he's into.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So maybe he literally is reading this and is like, "Hey, I should play this
I should
character.
play this dude.
My beard is gray. I would be good at this."
Grayer than not as gray as George Clooney in The Midnight Sky, though, right?
Yeah.
His
God.
beard's pretty great.
Yeah, it is. Well, everything with George Clooney is great.
Yeah.
That was another lit to lens. I did not care for that movie though.
That was a book?
Yeah.
Oh,
You should read the book.
I'm good.
Yeah, not a great movie. So, News of the World. Did we decide where this is going to be?
Oh, so we just looked it up, but you went to Apple TV, right?
Yeah, it's not on there.
So it's just on demand to rent. I believe it, like anywhere you can rent movies online.
Okay.
So like Apple and probably Google Play.
Amazon,
Yeah.
Google Play.
I think it's
Vudu.
like, but it's a $20 rental. You might as well just buy it for an extra couple bucks.
That's fair. Unless we tell you not to, and then please don't.
Yeah. Right. And then what is our last episode for the year?
The
Or for the season?
father. A man refuses all assistance from his daughter as he ages. As he tries to make sense of his changing circumstances, he begins to doubt his loved ones, his own mind, and even the fabric of his reality. So, Anthony Hopkins basically makes like one old man movie every year, and they are always on like the very outs of Oscar bait. Recently, they've inched further and further in. Like last year, there was the Two Popes where he played Pope
Oh, yeah. Francis?
Francis.
I don't
No,
know.
Pope Benedict.
Yeah.
Pope Benedict. Look at that, Catholic.
There you go.
Pope Benedict, and I think he got an Oscar nomination for that. This year, this seems to be even more on the inside
Yeah.
of the Oscar race because he got nominated for a Golden Globe. His co-star Olivia Colman got nominated for a Golden Globe. The father got nominated for
Best picture, right?
Best Drama,
Just drama, sorry.
Golden Globe.
Yeah.
And he got nominated for screenplay in the Golden Globe. So Anthony Hopkins finally has a project.
Yeah, that's getting its way in there.
Yeah.
He only does like very serious roles, I feel like this.
Yeah. He was in the Marvels. He's in the Thors.
Is he really?
Mm-hmm. He's Odin, man. You gotta catch up on your Marvels.
No, I refuse.
All right.
But this one is probably one that I'm more excited for than the others. Excuse me. Just because of the way that I heard that it was shot and the way that it kind of plays out. I don't want to give anything away because I heard it from a vlogger that I follow.
Industry sources are saying.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I can't really give out the information.
I get it.
But I hear it's really powerful and really emotional. And I think it's obviously timely in the sense that I think everyone or most people have had, a grandparent or a parent or somebody that they know within their immediate family or tertiary family who has gone through dementia and Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
So I think for that, partly that reason, it's going to hit a lot of people like in their heart muscle.
Yeah.
So
I think it'll be one of those things that is hard to watch, and you might only end up ever watching it once.
yeah, probably not a repeat viewing unless you like to cry. I don't know.
Yeah.
Unless you're into that.
Maybe you are. And this is going to be in theaters February 26th. If you,
Yeah.
what do the people say on the internet? If you're nasty,
Is that what people say?
I don't know. I'm trying to stay young. It's not going well.
I'm trying to stay away from the internet as much as I can. Are
but-
you excited for this one?
In theaters February 26th. I am curious about it. I think I'm more interested in the play than I am in the movie. I don't know why. In my brain, I feel like that is true.
Well, it's a French playwright, I believe. It's called La Père.
And I'm going to read it in French. And
Are
I'm
you?
gonna-
I
I'm going to
doubt
bring that perspective to the show. I'm on my 256 day of Duolingo.
No way.
That's my streak.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's actually really good.
I'm on fire. I'm
Almost
still
a
on
whole
like
year.
level 1, but I really
Just doing the same thing over and over again.
like how do I get to
knew
the
it.
store? Le magasin est grand. The store is big.
Oh,
There you go.
true.
That's what
I was gonna say
that's
the
the only
magazine.
sentence I know. But yeah, so I'm interested in this. I am purposefully avoiding consuming more information about it, other than I know like the big plot.
Yeah.
But I want to go in blind and be surprised.
Yeah, maybe that's why there isn't a lot of marketing. Because if they're really marketing the hell out of this movie, people are gonna be, oh, I don't really want to see this.
Yeah.
Maybe they're hoping just for Oscar buzz. Because I feel like I haven't seen any trailers advertised or like any sort of material.
Yeah. It's got to be hard in some respects too, because it's like, are you just going to put, this is the dementia movie on the posters? Like
Yeah,
that's going to be a hard sell.
Yeah. What you want to sell is like, this is Anthony Hopkins, like Academy Award nominated. That's
Yeah.
what you want.
And they'll probably get that.
They
So
probably will.
Kudos to the father.
Yeah.
But that's our last episode for this coming season.
Yeah.
That makes it an odd 5, but
Yeah, we're going to do them all before the Oscars are April 25th, I believe, which is a Sunday at the end of April. And we're going to try to get them in all before that, likely within this order unless something changes. But yeah, I'm excited for it. It's going to be a good season.
yeah, it's going to be obviously the Oscars moving back will make it all different, and the COVID-ness of it will be different. But luckily, I think a lot of these studios are moving to on-demand or streaming. So
Yeah.
whereas in years past, it might be harder to get your hands on one of these movies, now it might be a little bit easier.
Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully by the time that we record News of the World and The Father, that they will be
More accessible.
and
Yeah.
able to stream instead of getting COVID at a theater.
Yeah,
But,
don't do that.
yeah. Please.
All right, Will, take us home.
So check out our latest episode on Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets that was posted this week. Make sure to rate and review and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at lit2lens, and then follow us on the blog lit2lensblog.wordpress.com. And we're going to see you next week. We're going to record on Monday, probably posted the day after, for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Hope you're excited.
R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman.
R.I.P.
And shout out Viola Davis, I guess.
Shout out Viola.
We'll see how that sticks.
We'll get her on the pod.
Yeah.
See.
All right.
All right.
Bye all.